Venom versus Venom. Two versions of the same character going at it. With the Venom trilogy all wrapped up now, well, it's time to finally get a definitive look at this battle. See who would really win in a fight. And really, was it ever even close? Let's get into it. Let's talk about Venom. A lot more lovable than you might think, just a silly, goofy guy who loved to tear your head off and eat you alive. The big guy is crushing cars just by running or jumping on them, with what looks like just no effort on his part. He's able to easily take down all these SWAT guys. They were nothing compared to Venom, but that definitely isn't his max. No, not at all. No, it really comes down to his fights with Riot and Carnage. Yeah, that's what do it for me. Both of these guys are clearly stronger than Venom. I'm not gonna argue that. Riot's out there tearing up spaceships. Carnage is literally leaving, well, carnage everywhere he goes. Both of them are stronger than Venom. I know it, you know it, even Venom knows it. But the thing is, Venom still puts himself out there, still faces up to the challenge, even when he definitely doesn't want to. And you know what? He did well each time. Put up a good fight each time, got his hits in on Riot, was kinda evenly matching him, even held the upper hand at the start there with Carnage, before Carnage ate the Holy Man and got a power up. Basically what I'm saying here is that Venom might not be as strong as them, but he's within that same tier, around that same level. Plus it definitely helps that Venom is pretty freaking tough. For starters, he's bulletproof, like all around, just completely bulletproof. Seriously, cannot stress this enough. Dude doesn't even give two F's about bullets. On top of that, Venom's been battered away a couple 100 feet, was hit with a freaking nasty heel stomp, then launched back again another couple 100 feet. Took it all. Then he took all sorts of attacks from Carnage too, was thrown and hit and trashed all around by that guy. And that's not even mentioning his healing factor. See here, perfect example, where he was stabbed through the heart and literally all over and lived. Or here, where he healed from this crash. What about when Carnage stabbed him like 30, 40, 50 times and Venom kept on fighting? Even survived being burned alive by a massive fireball. That's a healing factor like Wolverine or Deadpool. There's also the fact that the symbiote is plenty handy in just all the versatility that it can bring to the fight. He can shoot out a lot of tendrils all around him, but honestly that's a lot more when Eddie is in charge versus when Venom is in control. When Venom's out and about, it's a lot more just up close and physical fights and eating people. And then we got the other Venom, Raimi Venom. Right after losing his job and having his reputation destroyed, well, freelance photographer Eddie Brock saw Peter Parker with Gwen Stacy and vowed revenge. So he went to church and prayed for Peter's death. Coincidentally, Peter was at the same church as Spider-Man, trying to rid himself of the Venom symbiote. Peter managed to rip off the symbiote, and as it fell, well, it landed on Eddie, transforming him into Venom. Now the Venom symbiote is able to enhance its host and make them superhuman, and it's safe to say that Venom has all the same powers and abilities as Spider-Man. So even though Venom might not have as many impressive feats as Spider-Man, well, it's fair to say that Venom could probably do all the same things. So that includes stuff like Spider-Man stopping the train, catching the falling tramway car, or even overpowering the MCU Spidey when he tried to kill Green Goblin. Based off of how Venom scaled to Spider-Man, well, it's safe to say that Venom should be able to pull off similar things to all of this. That's very impressive. Then there's just his actual fight with Spider-Man. Venom was able to overpower and dominate Peter, knocking him around, sending him flying with his attacks, all while Spider-Man couldn't break free or overpower Venom. It really wasn't too close at first. The only way Pete was able to beat him was by learning about the symbiote throughout the fight, and then of course he had some help along the way. But it's clear, Venom is stronger than Spider-Man, and this Spider-Man might just be the strongest of them all. And Venom isn't just strong, he's also plenty fast and plenty tough. He's pretty much a direct equal to Spider-Man. They can fight on par and dodge and react to each other's attacks. Then on top of that, he's able to take a lot of attacks from not just Spider-Man, but also take attacks from Sandman and the new Goblin too. The only downside for Venom here is his real weakness to Sonic and fire. He's able to be taken out by just hitting metal pipes together, which in the grand scheme of things isn't that loud of a vibration, then was ultimately killed by one pumpkin bomb. But still, all in all, this Venom has definitely proven himself to be one of Spider-Man's most dangerous enemies. So, who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now, both Sony Venom and Raimi Venom are pretty powerful. You gotta give them both that. But I think just starting out here, there are a few obvious advantages for Sony Venom that you can throw his way. Like obviously, this Venom and Eddie have a much stronger and better bond and work much better as a team. And as just a rule within the Venom verse, that should make them more of a threat than symbiotes and hosts that have weaker bonds. Like even though Carnage was more powerful, Cletus and Carnage didn't have as good of a connection, and Venom was able to take advantage of that. Secondly, while this Venom is noticeably tougher, he's never been knocked out. This one has. He's completely immune to gunfire. This one was cut by blades. While it's true that both of them can take a lot of blunt force and durability attacks, Venom is still taking some serious hard-hitting punches here. Probably more so than Raimi Venom. But Sony Venom also has a better healing factor than Raimi Venom, at least from what we've seen. And one thing's for sure, Sony Venom is a lot tougher and more durable to the symbiote's weaknesses. Because if both Venoms are weak to sonic attacks and heat, well, it's a pretty big deal that Sony Venom can take a lot more powerful of these attacks. Like Raimi Venom was super weak to church bells and metal pipes and all sorts of things. Sony Venom's tougher to those types of attacks. It looks like as the bond between him and Eddie is getting stronger, they're getting tougher and tougher to these weaknesses. And we can see this. In the first movie, Venom was knocked back by a plane passing overhead. In the third movie, he was able to transform into Venom while literally on the side of an airplane. Raimi Venom was killed by one pumpkin bomb, which, while powerful, is nothing compared to rocket ships taking off to space. Venom was able to just stand there with that kind of heat and then survived the subsequent explosion. It also really helps that Sony Venom has experience fighting against other symbiotes, so it knows how to fight them and it knows how to beat them. It's possible that Raimi Venom has fought symbiotes before. We've never seen that happen. We've seen Sony Venom beating and killing other symbiotes. Really, the only thing going for Raimi Venom in this fight is strength. He gets scaling off of Spider-Man, and that does a lot for him here. But it's not entirely clear that means he's stronger than Sony Venom. Because of Raimi Venom's scaling, well, he's got more clear strength feats. But with Sony Venom fighting against Riot, fighting against Carnage, even overpowering several xenophages, well, Sony Venom is obviously really strong. He just doesn't have as many clear-cut strength feats as Spider-Man. But if that strength is the only thing going for Raimi Venom, well then I think this fight becomes pretty clear. Sony Venom is tougher, has a better bond between the two, has shown experience fighting and beating other symbiotes, has even shown off more versatility with the symbiote. and Sony Venom should be coming out on top here. Sony Venom wins. It's not even necessarily close. But what do y'all think? Sound off in the comments down below. I know you're gonna have thoughts and feelings on this one for sure. If you stuck around this long and made it to the end of the video, that's amazing. Thank you so much for watching and for supporting us. And if you want to go subscribe, well, go subscribe. You're going to see more videos like this one every single week. I'll see y'all then. I'll see y'all next time.